BBC Television presents...
Hancock.
I see Boris is in hospital.
Too many Easter eggs, Sid. An attack of gout, apparently. They'll soon have his big toe up in traction for a week.
I think he's got the virus, Hancock. They say he's taken one for the team.
Oh, that didn't take him long, did it? Always in a rush, trying to be first. That's his trouble. Don't do this, don't do that, he says. Bang, down he goes, like clockwork with these tin pot dictators.
It's very funny, Hancock. No, he's on death's door, apparently. He may not pull through.
Poor chap. At a time like this, we all have to sink our differences, Sid, and show a bit of empathy. I'll send him a get-well-soon card the moment I can get out. What about you, Sid?
Nah, I don't do cards. Anyway, Boris is writing to everyone in the country. Have you got your letter yet?
Let me see, I'll look through the mail. Dear Mr. Hancock, blah, blah, blah. As you know, I'm currently in hospital. Blah, blah, blah. We need someone to run the country. Yes, don't we just? And I wondered, Mr. Hancock, with Easter coming up, could you see the way forward to contacting the Easter Bunny and get him to run the country in my absence? Yours truly, Boris Johnson. What did your letter say, Sid?
It's not what my letter said. What's he on about? Easter Bunny?
I've no idea what he's on about. I'm just trying to let it sink in. Where does the Easter Bunny live, Sid?
How the hell should I know? I don't think there is an Easter Bunny, is there?
Our esteemed leader Boris seems to think so. Perhaps he does. Boris would know. He has all the secrets of MI5 at his disposal. Harry Potter, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny.
Nah, leave off. It's a joke. Look at the envelope. See who it's from. It's probably from Kenneth Williams.
I don't know, Sid. It says UK government on the envelope and the Prime Minister, 10 Downing Street on the letter. Where does he live again?
Yeah, it's the same as mine, Hancock. Identical except for the content. All mine says is wash your hands and don't be an idiot and go out. You sure yours isn't signed Larry the cat?
Well, it must be real. There's only one way to check. I'll ring Boris. There's a telephone number at the end of the letter. Yes, hello. Is that Boris? You asked me to ring. I'm sorry, could you speak up and stop coughing? It's Hancock, you know. No, I am not the Easter Bunny. Easter eggs? No, I haven't got any. I can't get out. Yes, you can rest assured I will do my best to find him, and when I find him, I will get him to give you a call. Does the Easter Bunny speak English, Sid?
How the hell should I know?
And if the Easter Bunny doesn't speak English, Boris, I'll translate for him. Yes, thank you very much, Prime Minister. Yes, speak to you later. Chin up. Bye-bye. Well, would you believe it? He really does seem to think there is an Easter Bunny. He sounded a bit strange, though. Sort of croaky, wheezy, and hot under the collar. Can't think why.
He's gone bonkers, if you ask me. They must be giving him drugs or something.
Well, who am I to argue, Sid? If the main man says get the Easter Bunny, we want him to run the country, then that is what I'm going to do.
Nah, don't get involved. It's a wild goose chase, Hancock.
I thought it was an Easter egg rabbit hunt, not a wild goose chase.
I'm just saying, we both know the Easter Bunny is just a children's fairy story. It's the sort of daft thing Boris would say. He doesn't really believe it. He's probably laughing at you as we speak.
Can't let him down, though, Sid. I've given him my word. The word of the Hancocks is their bond. The knighthood is in the post.
What about money? What's he going to pay you to run the country?
Well, he said something about all the Easter eggs I could eat and the minimum wage. But he might have been talking about the rabbit.
Well, if you're going to take it seriously, what about if me, Atty and Kenneth, the Hancocks half our team, get together to put the country back on track, and we'll pretend it's the Easter Bunny doing it. For the kiddies.
Excellent idea, Sid. Our collective heads all stuffed inside the bonds of one fluffy rabbit. Well, team, we have a job on our hands. I've been asked by Boris Johnson personally, not very clearly, however, as he was unable to articulate on account of the oxygen mask he had over his face, to save the country from the coronavirus by putting the Easter Bunny in charge.
You didn't say Easter, did you? It's not Easter already. Nobody told me it was framing Easter. I like cabbage roses, by the way.
You didn't say bunny, did you, Tony? Was that a sort of joke? No, Hattie, this is deadly serious. The governor wants the Easter Bunny in charge. I presume he doesn't trust Govey, Matt Hancock, no relation, Rishi or Rab. Who can blame him? He wants someone reliable, efficient, and knows his way around at Easter to trust. And in his delusionally weakened state, that person is the Easter Bunny.
Why did he ask you, of all people? Does he think you know a lot of fantasy creatures? Fauns, centaurs, Disney characters or something? Does he think you just come back from Narnia or have just fallen through a rabbit hole into a subterranean fantasy world populated by fairies?
Yes. Well, if I could have me fourpenneth, my idea is that we all get together and run the country on behalf of the Easter Bunny. And when we've found him, he can take over, can't he?
No, there's just one teensy-weensy problem with your plan, Sid. There isn't a bloody Easter Bunny, is there?
All right, we'll just carry on running the country until Boris gets better. I'll get me old carry-on scripts out and see if they're any help.
Yes, it's just like a carry-on film, isn't it? Called Carry On Crippling the Country. I play a misguided fool who gets everything wrong while appearing to get everything right as usual.
So you're playing Boris, you mean?
Like Boris, your job, Williams, will be to make people laugh, so the whole country doesn't descend into a chasm of mass depression. On second thoughts, I'll give you something you're good at.
Flaming cheat. If anyone can make people laugh about dying in a deadly plague, I can. I've got piles, you know. I'll talk to them about my piles. That'll take their bloody minds off it. Then they'll know what suffering is about. We'll make some posters. Don't be a moaner if you're struck down with corona.
And what do you want me to do, Tony? I want to help the Easter Bunny out too. I'm putting you in charge of the National Health Service, Atty. Au naturel. But I don't know anything about it, Tony. What? The great Atty Jakes? Yes, you do. I've seen you in Carry On Nurse, Carry On Doctor and Carry On Matron. When people think about nurses, you're the first thing that comes into their heads. You and that nurse from Casualty. You know, the one with a beard and a wooden leg. Thanks very much. But I was acting, Tony. I really don't know anything about the health service. So what do you think the Minister of Health, Matt Hancock, no relation, he's the other branch of the family, does? What is his qualifications? How about starting, Pat, by bandaging Kenneth Williams up, putting him in traction and looking like you're in charge? He can revive his matron catchphrase. He'll enjoy that.
You can't run the country as if it's a carry-on film. Well, I suppose you can. That's what the idiots are already doing. And I swore I would never say, matron, ever again.
Wait a minute. I've just had some good news about Boris. He's up and enjoying himself with the nurses.
Oh, I bet he is, dirty beast.
Matt Hancock is a doctor, isn't he? Are you sure Boris isn't getting you mixed up with Matt Hancock, Tony? He's a doctor more like Atty. Is he heck a doctor? All Matt Hancock's got is an A-level in woodwork and GCSE politics. Anyhow, how on earth could he get mixed up with me and Matt Hancock? We look completely different. He hasn't got my looks.
He's mixed you up because you've got the same name, you silly goose. Hancock. Woodwork. He looks a bit of a chiseler, doesn't he? I suppose you've got much better qualifications. What have you got?
Well, if you must know, A-level drama studies and a certificate in CPR from the St John's Ambulance. There you are, you didn't know how that, did you? I am more qualified to run the country in a pandemic than the whole lot of them. You must consider it as a possibility, Tony. Don't you think Boris might actually have wanted to get Matt Hancock to contact the Easter Bunny and approached you by mistake?
Matt Hancock's got big ears, big teeth, and he's rather pale. Perhaps he is the Easter Bunny in disguise, or Boris thought he was in his deluded state when he went to visit him. I expect Boris goes like this at Easter. It's all the chocolate, so I've been told.
Let's get back to sorting out who does what. As a veteran of films and TV, what do you want me to do?
I've given it a lot of serious thought, Sid. I'm putting you in charge of the nurses. I thought you might like that.
That's my sort of job, Hancock. And what about the pubs?
Yes, that's a very good idea. You can visit the pubs with the nurses, Sid.
This is a load of old consort. Sit in charge of the nurses. That would be like putting the lions in charge of the zoo. What are you in charge of then, Hancock?
I see myself, Williams, as the man behind the scenes, a sort of Dominic Cummings, Svengali, puppet master, who at the last moment pulls the rabbit out the hat and saves Britain from the virus.
Oh, stop listening about it. You haven't got a clue what you're doing, have you? Be honest.
Oh dear, it's Boris, Tony. He wants to speak with the Easter Bunny on Skype.
We've done it now. You're for it, you bit off it. I'll have a rabbit on the phone with Boris instead. I'll put my funny squeaky rabbit voice. Oh, hello, Boris. It's the Easter Bunny here.
You can forget about speaking to Boris, Williams. That really would let the rabbit out the bag.
Oh, really? So Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, thinks the Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny are essential workers, does she? Quite right, good girl. No, Boris, you're not barking mad at all.
They're all barking mad if you ask me. Tell Boris the Easter Bunny says I hope he's feeling better. And would he like a Cadbury's Easter egg or one from Mars?
Boris Johnson says he's dying to speak to you face to face. Or whiskers to whiskers, if you like.
Bloody fool. Tell him I'll speak to him tomorrow. I've left something down me rabbit hole.
He'll speak to you tomorrow, Boris. All right, chin up, love you. The country's safe in the Easter Bunny's hands. Don't you worry. Yes, he's washed them. Yes, we're all staying in. Bye-bye. Yes, bye-bye.
Boris will work it out sooner or later, Hancock. He'll know we've been having him on. What are you going to do?
Wait a minute, Sid. I've just had a thought.
Ooh, look here, Atty. I've found a book. How to Cure a Plague. You can tell people about this recipe. Take 1 cock.
Kenneth, how dare you? That's disgusting. Wash your mouth out with mouth sanitizer immediately.
No, it goes on. Take a cock, a chicken or a pullet, and pull all the feathers clean off the tail so the rump may be bare. And then hold the rump or bare place on the saw. I think I'll try that for these piles. Have you got one in the freezer, Hancock?
Ta-ra! What do you think, everyone?
By God, it's the Easter Bunny in an Hancock suit.
Oh, there is an Easter Bunny. Oh, I'm frightened. No, wait a minute, it's Hancock. All my childhood dreams have been shattered. I'll never be the same again. I bet you haven't even got any bloody chocolate.
Our problem is solved. It's not perfect, but Boris is a bit short-sighted, or so I've heard. I'll Skype him and he'll never know the difference. We'll get knighted in the New Year's honours list. Not you, Atty. It's a dame or something.
Without luck, it would be Sir Easter Bunny and nothing for the rest of us.
Ooh, where did you get that suit from, Tony? It's lovely. I'd like to wear one of those.
It goes back to me younger days when I used to know Hugh Hefnerty. When he was starting out, he had this idea of doing a Playgirl magazine with male bunnies. Turned out Playboy was more popular and he gave up the idea. This was a suit I wore at the audition.
Yes, Dominic. Oh, I see. Boris is feeling better. He had a very high temperature, did he? A bit delirious. Poor love. Better now, good. Does he want to see the Easter Bunny? He's been waiting here to speak to him. Oh, he's definitely here. Oh dear. The whole thing was a publicity stunt, was it? The Easter Bunny will be disappointed, won't he? Well, he's here if you need him again. Bye, Dominic. Bye. Good luck with Brexit. Stick it up your bottom. It was a publicity stunt, Tony. Or so Dominic Cummings says. Boris doesn't want to see the Easter Bunny. Oh, you can change. The whole thing's been called off.
Charming. Not only have we run the country for 3 days, we've also come up with the Easter Bunny. And now they're trying to explain away the fact that Boris went completely doolally.